Our speaker for today hails from Lao PDR. She obtained her BS Forestry Science at the National University of Laos in 2006. She obtained her master's degree in Environmental Science and Management at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños in 2013. And for over 16 years, she has gained experiences conducting outreach programs and raising awareness on protected area management, forest protection, biodiversity conservation, ecosystem sustainable use, climate change, and environmental issues. She focuses on environmental issue analysis, strategic planning, and review about the management effectiveness and monitoring and evaluation of non-formal education, outreach, and awareness activities. Currently, she is an environmental education and awareness consultant at the GFA Consulting Group, which is based in Hamburg, Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all give a virtual welcome to Ma'am Sysomphane Sengthavideth.
So before I start, I would like to briefly a bit about the presentation that this research since 2012, now 2022, so 10 years already, no? In that time, the results of the research, how to say, after this research, I came back to my country and I present about the result of this research to some national protected area in Laos. So and now it quite something changed from this research already. So I will introduce or present about that or discuss about that after this presentation finish, like an update situation of this topic now. Okay, so this research is on about a woman's participation in biodiversity conservation program in Namet-Phouley National Protected Area. So now they change the situation to be national park already, but I will still call the national protected area because in this during the research, the situation still be national protected area in Hua Phan province. Okay, and this research in since 2012. Oh, okay, this the map of Lao country. You can see here the map of Lao country, and Namet-Phouley National Protected Area in Hua Phan province here in the north of Laos. So we can see the yellow border. You can see the yellow border. The yellow line is the border of national protected area, but the red one inside the yellow is a prohibited zone. No, because in this protected area they divide to be like a prohibited zone, a corridor zone, and control or they call use managed zone. So they divide to be 3 zones. So and the research I research in 4 villages, to be our target for research. So the 4 villages totally of the respondents number is 192 respondents. And we come to see the 4 villages that research in, come back to see the name. Okay, you can see here, no? We have Namnern village is here inside the protected area, and That Hia village is an outside. This is the town, no? In the town, and Son Khoa village and Pieng Di village in border. Why border village has had 2 villages that for research like a Pieng Di and Pieng Di and Son Khoa, because Pieng Di and Son Khoa they have a tourism program two villages. That's why we get 2 villages for this research, but for other we get only 1. So we divide zone of the research is like inside the village inside prohibit area and village and the zone of the like a far from the protected area in the town, like zone number 1, and zone number 3 is like border. The village have border, the village border and protected border. So we have 3 zones. This is the result of the women participation in the planning phases, because the program they start 2 phase in during that time. First planning phases and second phase is implementation phases. During the research time is implementing phase already. So in the planning phase, we can see the look at the legend first. Pyengdi is a blue legend. Son Kwa village is a orange legend, and That Hia village is a gray legend, and Nam Neun village is a yellow legend. So we see the results of the planning phase that women participate quite low. As we see for example, when they start is they analyze the programs inside the protected area, and we can see only Pyengdi village that 2% of women there can participate, but none other three villages of the research participant, and also the decision making also. Because during they participate here, so they can decide here about which program. It's now my college, and the rule and regulation during they will start, right, the planning phase. They have to create the rule and regulation for manage the protected area. As we see, only Sonkwa village. Why Sonkwa village attend this rule? This time they said the rule. This not mean the rule of the whole of protected area, but the rule of the ecotourism program in there, because they have in Sonkwa village they have an ecotourism. But the annual planning, none any women in 4 district in 4 villages attend or participate. Hello, somebody have question? Okay. If we compare the percentage of the women participate in the implementation phase, before is a planning phase. Now we come to see the implement and think phase. How much percentage of the women participate in these 4 villages? We can see the annual meeting. Not any of women in 4 villages and participate. And for zoning, only That Hiem and Pyengdi a little bit, no, a little bit percentage attend. And conceptual meeting, this we ask why quite high, more than zoning and annual plan. And according to answer is because they implement this meeting in the town. So That Hiem village is in the town, so they have a chance to participate, especially the woman who is an officer, not villagers. And stakeholder meeting, so quite a little bit pattering, non any of women to attend. But we look special, the education outreach is high of participants of women survey, so non any, and ecotourism only Sonkwa and Pyengdi, because ecotourism program has only cover, how to say, the area of the ecotourism area is cover 2 villages. So that's why we see only women in a little bit of percentage of women participate. This I won't say all, no, but I will just give example of some in here, that attitude of the to the program. So the knowledge of that the woman has about the national protected area, this we can see the description. So look at the description. So low level. No, even if we see the benefit of the example, I will example this one. No, benefit of biodiversity conservation. So even the knowledge of, they don't know that very low. They know, but a little bit now about the benefit from the biodiversity conservation. So this I think link to the participation level, because the participation level low, so that's why the knowledge quite low. Only use or manage zone within the Namet-Phouley National Protected Area, the knowledge quite high on this, so quite high level on this. This because of their village managed zone is inside the protected area, so they quite know well about their use zone. But the outside of the use zone, so the knowledge of that quite low. And we will see the attitude of the respondent to this program. So we totally quite generally agree the answer. Quite generally agree. Say the answer quite generally agree. So for example, the question that, do you strongly support the Namet-Phouley National Protected activity because they are working to keep your source of food and your living alternative? They generally agree, no? But not any women respondents answer strongly agree. any. And the attitude toward to the participant, their participant in Namet-Phouley. So this answer is almost general agree, but not any of strongly agree. For example, giving a chance, will you involve yourself in Namet-Phouley National Criteria activity because you find it interesting? So the answer is not really strongly agree, but this answer the general agree. This one, the if we see the satisfy, the almost answer is satisfy. As we know in Laos, so they not really strongly say the like a conflict with the program. If we ask satisfy, almost they will answer yes, satisfied. We don't know the truth inside the feeling that maybe they are not satisfied because of low participant. But this, if the government program, almost loud people will answer yes, we satisfied with government program. So we look at the factors that limited the women's participation. Yes, in local women, times is very important. They don't have much time to participate in the program due to if compare men and women, men quite have free time after field work or farm work. When they go to farm, after working from farm, come back home, men still have time to play sport at village, but women come back from the farm, they don't have free time to for themselves. They have to run to do the housework, and then after housework take care kid, also after that serve food for kid and husband, then they have time to shower and go to bed. So local women quite working hard for the family if compared to men when we observe when during our research time in the village. And knowledge and ability, so as we see the knowledge quite low level, experience, sure, if they participate, the percentage of participant low, so the experience low. Social and culture, this very important. Social, there's also if they have government program, almost men, because man is a leader of families, almost men participant. If woman go by herself without invited specific invitation, she enter to the meeting room or enter to the activity, people will look at her like a weird, something like that. This social norm like not really support women attend. And also culture, they believe that women should not involve in government program or in the man activity, something like that. Income, yeah, quite low income, so women have to working hard like for their income. Language is Lao had three main ethnic group, so we have three main languages like Lao, Hmong, Hmong. So almost Hmong ethnic group, women and kids cannot understand Lao. Only men can speak Lao, can understand Lao. So they quite men and women and kids quite get control from men. And so the language is one thing is limited factors. Shy, yeah, every woman in Laos, especially in local, they are very shy to speak, to attend. Leadership, as I mentioned before, so almost man is a leader of family, so they're quite low leadership. Right, this very important. Almost during the research time, almost women answered they don't know that they had right to attend. They think only men have right to attend. So ownership, yeah, quite, yeah, if they think that they don't have rights, so their ownership quite low, not allowed by family. Yes, this really man said, if the head of village announced in the village that, oh, tomorrow we have this activity from this program, so one of your family member have to come to attend. Men will say, you should not go. You take care house, you take care kid, or you go to farm. I will attend. So this almost is like this situation. Family do not allow women to attend. And no specific invitation. As I said, when they announce our invite the people to attend the activity, they don't say, oh, women have to come to attend or something like that. They just say, oh, one of your family come to attend, something like that, or everyone come to attend. But so they feel not confident to attend if no specific invitation. And they not really women from the local get employed by this program. Almost men, a local man get employed. And this program according to interview the program owner, that they don't have specific, or they don't include about the gender and inclusive inside the program. So I wrote here, it's like a specific participation policy for women. Yeah. So, and the women don't know the information. Yeah. If they don't get invitation, they don't know information. And also we can see if we remember on the table of the knowledge of women about benefit. So if they benefit, they don't know. If they participate, what benefit for women? So they don't know. So they don't interesting enough to. But so the recommendation from the respondents, they said Namet-Phouley program should continue its education outreach, especially for women, to help them better understand and learn more about Namet-Phouley National Protected Area activities, because according to the knowledge quite low, they should suggest to do it. And also training for women increase their knowledge and ability to participate in the activity now that the program provide, and women should be included, and the number of their participants increase in all activity or all levels of. So the research recommendation, yes, we agree with the respondent recommendation. So we come up with the recommendation here. They should promote women participate in all levels or all activity, especially in the meeting or training or workshop. Second, should be empower women to have equal right with men. Women should be given a duty, or should also be given a chance to be leaders. Women should be allowed to share idea and create activity for women, like a specific for women, like have program for them. And also should work, the program owner should work with local women's union, because in Laos we have Lao Women Union, also in local and village authorities provide support fund and additional. Yeah, this we can see revised strategy. Before they don't have women, they have on program like this, so we revise for them that women should have a chance or have activity attend to on activity of the, and also every level, when this unit level and on the high level, they should chance. Yes. Before I say thank you, I would like to briefly about situation now. Since 2014, because I graduated 2013, come back home, and 2014 I have a chance to, they invite me to present about this research, and they respond like especially in Namet-Phouley National Park area where I do the research, they respond that wow, they don't think about it, even they don't include about gender inclusive in their program. So now, and since now they start mainstreaming about gender inside their program, and I'm so happy or so glad now that last year in the south, one of they call Hinamno protected area is one of the national area in Laos in the south province, and they now they interesting try to start a program with women, because if I will go back this. Okay, so if we look at pattering compared to other activity, okay, women, they can include women inside, but pattering, they are feel like patrol that the ranger go inside to the forest, sometimes 1 week, 2 weeks. How come women can do that? So risky for women, it's dangerous for women. So they're thinking, no, this program, even they include women to other activity, but not patrolling activity. But this year, they have one idea that, okay, maybe they can attend. Women said they can do, but they can do in the safe zone. So they plan to have the program for women in national protected area, like they can do patrolling during they are going to forest, like to collect the firewood or to find food, or collect the bamboo shoot, or collect vegetable from mushroom. They can do at the same time patrol in the youth zone. So now they start create the program and like a brainstorming for the I think this is good point for starting to mainstreaming gender inside the national protected area program any place in Laos, not only the national protected area, the one that I do research, but can apply on national protected in Laos. Yes. So thank you very much for your attention to my presentation. Thank you.
To elaborate more on the webinar topic, we will now proceed with the discussion. Our discussant is an assistant professor at the University of the Philippines, Open University. She obtained her Bachelor of Science in Social Work at UP Diliman in 2004 and obtained her Master of Social Work also at the University of the Philippines in 2011. And in 2021, she obtained her degree in Doctor of Professional Studies at the University of Southern Queensland, Australia. She is a licensed social worker and currently the program chair of Social Work and Women and Development Programs of the Faculty of Management and Development Studies at UP Open University, and the current director of the Office of Gender Concerns, UP Open University. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all give a warm virtual clap to Dr. Finaflor F. Thailand.
Thank you very much to our colleague from Lao, Te, for sharing her research. No, this research, especially done by women, are very much vital in ensuring that women's participation and contribution in data management, knowledge sharing, and knowledge generation. Especially researches on women's participation. No? These are very much important in our knowledge management and development. So I'm happy to share with you my insights also, and I would like to share also some learnings that I've had in my collaborations in previous studies that we have had with some colleagues also. From the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, which I will be sharing to you very briefly later. So I hope that in this presentation, I will be able to tackle very briefly, due to the interest of time, some points that we can ponder and we can reflect on in terms of trying to widen and making the participation of women in terms of quality, no, in biodiversity and environment management. I'm not an expert in biodiversity and environment management, but I'm happy to be part of some teams in relation to providing insights on the social and gender aspect of their biodiversity and environment management programs. From the presentation of our speaker a while ago and from some researches on related literature on similar topics and researches, from not only in the Philippines, but also within our region, specifically in Southeast Asia, we could see that there's really a limited participation of women, just like what was mentioned by our speaker, no? In particular in environment conservation and management. And I could see that this is also similar and consistent to how women are in terms of their roles, no, and venues provided to them in terms of participation and and how they are perceived, no, in terms of how they should be participating in the society and in the community affairs in general. So we could see similarities, we could see the consistency, we could see the alignment of how women are seen in particular programs such as in environment management, with that of how women are also perceived in general community affairs, which are also drawn for how women are seen in the household. So we could see the alignment and consistency of those perceptions. Because there is still a growing in the Philippines, we have been it's a roller coaster ride, no? Even in the Asia and even around the world, it's a roller coaster ride in terms of widening participation of women and changing perceptions about women's roles. There are some years or decades that we are very much champions in terms of gender equality, in terms of ensuring widened participation of women. And then there would be times that we would step backwards many steps. And somehow we are feeling that the successes that we have had previously did not reap fruits that much. And then we again do more, and then the cycle goes on, no? But still, no, the struggle continues, and we're still happy to be hearing more also successes with regard to this gender mainstreaming. And this is also similar to our ground situation based on a particular research that I've had with our colleague from UP Los Baños. I think Sir Mark Raben is here. He's one of the He's actually the one invited me in that research, together with one of his colleagues also in IBS in UP Los Baños also, Sir Donald Luna. No? We have this research in one of the mangrove areas here in Luzon. For sure, we will be presenting more of this, but just briefly, presenting this in other occasions, but very briefly, we have had similar results to what has been presented by our speaker a while ago. No? So in terms of roles, the perceived and suggested roles of women in that particular area in mangrove management were on direct activities in mangrove. There were no roles in terms of decision making and leadership that have been cited and that have been perceived by both men and women, and even by women themselves. No, these were not cited. And as I mentioned, this could be attributed to the general perceptions on women's capacities and women's roles in their households and at the wider community on that particular area. So this is also the similar results when I made some literature review on similar researches. No, the one conducted in 2018 in one of the provinces in Vietnam by Nguyen Thi Mong, Hong Mai, and Dang Thai Hong. Very similar to the research results that we have had in this particular area in mangrove. And then from that study also, from this particular study that we are involved in with our UPLB colleagues, this is despite the fact that from that research itself, the findings said there that women are perceived to be knowledgeable, actually slightly more knowledgeable on mangrove protection than their male counterparts, than the male respondents in terms of policy and implementing organizations related to mangrove and environmental protection. So even if women are perceived to be slightly more knowledgeable on mangrove, still the roles that are provided to women are very much limited to the direct roles, no? Such as planting, cleaning, those sorts, but not on the leadership and program management roles in relation to the mangrove protection program. So I think given this finding that women are perceived by both men and women to be slightly more knowledgeable than male, I think it would be great and it would serve them well if women can be mobilized and help in larger roles and activities, especially at the leadership and program management level. In terms of mangrove and management and protection beyond the perceived roles that the community has on them and are played at present. So to have a better context on that, just showing and sharing to you, no, the women's empowerment framework, which is very much guided by the theories, Sarah Longwe. This is, I think, some steps or phases that we can make use of and could guide us in terms of reflecting on our initiatives and ensuring that women are empowered and capacitated in terms of providing them with more venues to participate in our programs, such as on environment or mangrove protection and biodiversity management. So usually, women are very much or generally perceived at this level only, women's welfare, providing them with a short-term initiatives, short-term plans to address short-term needs. But we could actually improve that by providing them awareness-raising activities, especially on women's rights, especially on their capacities of their potentials. And these studies that we have heard from our colleague from Laos and from other researches that we have had in Vietnam and even in the Philippines, we know that women's capacities are endless if only they could be provided with the necessary support and opportunities. And then from there, we could actually help them for them to access the other frameworks, the other structures that could provide them better support so that they could become, they could participate and interact more, especially at the leadership and decision-making roles and arenas. And then from there, we could actually expand the levels and the leverage in terms of women's participation towards gaining more control or becoming more empowered. Some people that cringe when they hear women's gaining control. Why do we get? why do some people get nervous about this? But they are not. But they do not feel the same when the male counterparts are provided the same opportunities. No? So we are in the era still of pushing forward for gender equality. No? It's not true that women and men are already equal. No? This is studies that we have been sharing to you are concrete proof that even if women are show their capacity, show their knowledge, the roles that are the roles and the venues of participation that are provided to them say otherwise. No? So in concrete terms, why women's participation is important. Of course, based on our one of the literatures from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, it says here assessing the actual roles of women and men. For example, in mangrove management and conservation can lead to gender responsive approach that may benefit women through the following. No? We have been saying that of course, poverty and economic insufficiency is always a problem. But if we do gendered assessment about poverty and other matters that affect the whole community, it's usually women who are more affected adversely. No? Even in the pandemic that we are in right now, no? It's still women who suffer more. No? Of course, we know that generally we already are experiencing problems, but if we only do gendered assessments, the statistics and the data show that women usually suffer more, no, as part of the marginalized and vulnerable sector, together with children, together with other marginalized sectors. No? So what can women benefit if we implement and manage gender responsive approach in these kinds of programs? The IUCN enumerated this: increased food and water security. The first one will not only benefit women, actually, no, increased food and water security, it will benefit the whole household and in general the whole community. Women can also gain leadership and voice. It can also improve health, security, education, and skills development. This again will not only benefit women, but the household as a whole and even in the community level. And of course, livelihood and income. And again, this will not only benefit women per se, but the benefit can be shared to the whole household or family and the community as whole. And of course, if we are to draw our and be guided by the human rights approach, which we are a signatory of the United Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we always say that a right to participation should be fulfilled by everyone, should be upheld by everyone. And there's a question where to involve women. I say in all aspects, no, based on their evolving capacity. The mentioned framework a while ago in terms of the levels of venues for participation that can be provided to women can actually be grounded and be based in consideration of their evolving capacity. Thus, it's also important if we are to think about how to provide better venues for participation of women, it is necessary for us to assess first their capacity, their level of knowledge on where they could benefit better and how we can improve their capacity so that they could enhance their participation. And again, just like I mentioned, right to participation is for all because it is a basic human right. No? So in more specific terms, now what can we expect if we are to do this, no, to include more women and to provide them better venues for participation? It could lead to gender mainstreaming, which is actually a policy for government institutions, especially in the Philippines. No? In the Philippines, we are happy that policy-wise, we are very much advanced in terms of gender mainstreaming. The usual bottleneck is the actual implementation. We have necessary mechanisms for this, but there are still bottlenecks along the way. So if we are to do gender mainstreaming and to develop and implement gender responsive approach in biodiversity, we are actually complying to our work, not to our responsibility as part of government institutions. No? But beyond compliance, of course, we would like to be to tackle more of this, not just to comply with government mandates and regulations, because gender mainstreaming and providing more venues for women in these programs can result in gender equality not only in environment management. So there is a societal and at a more macro level changes that we are trying to hope, no? And if we are talking about gender equality, we can be able to address also some very basic gender issues such as gender-based violence, such as gender-based discrimination, and those sorts. It can also result in better situations and can provide additional value in specific household and community situations and general community affairs, which are more often than not, the value women's roles, voice, and access to resources. And in concrete terms, in relation to our programs, it could provide us better initiatives, and it could sustain more of our initiatives. If more people are provided with the same kind of quality and venue for participation, if we will open more venues for participation for other members of our society, our initiatives could become more sustainable. We could create and develop more sustainability specific programs, just like what we would like to have. And of course, hopefully we could provide and we could achieve better quality of life for all, especially if our environments and in general other aspects of life would be protected and would be provided with appropriate programs, especially given the wider participation provided to all. So some ways forward, what can we do so that we could be able to have this? I think I am for better collaboration and participation between civil society organizations and government organizations to increase the voice of women and other marginalized people. Usually, civil society organizations are very active in many localities, and they're the ones which provide stimulus for government institutions to move forward and to provide better ways of doing things. And then just like what we did in our research and just like what has been shared to us by our speaker a while ago, we can conduct gendered assessment of potential or negative impacts also of programs or policies, especially on vulnerable groups such as women, and implement gender-responsive programs in the households and communities to change perceptions towards widened participation. I usually say this, that many things start from home. The way we see and perceive women and men's role in the society usually start from home. So we have had several programs also that tackle gender issues within the household, like gender-responsive parenting, gender sensitivity within the household, how to teach gender rights to children, and then widening that to the schools also. And we have supportive mechanisms for that because, as I mentioned, this is one of the regulations that we have in the Philippines. No? For example, in the Department of Education, our government arm for basic education, and even at the CHED level for the higher education, we are all mandated to do gender mainstreaming. So this should not be a bottleneck because funds should be provided there. We also have a law about funding, no? At least 5%. For sure, all our colleagues there know this very well. And then from there, we could actually reap fruits from the successes that we have in the households. We could actually simultaneously do also gender-responsive programs in our communities, which can still become part of all the general gender mainstreaming programs that we have, not only in environment management areas, but also in the wider communities or in other types of communities. No? And I would like to also emphasize the continuous efforts for us to do capacity building, not only for women, but also for the other members of the community and of the society, to ensure that they are capacitated to how they can widen the participation, how they could make the programs better, to ensure that the program provides participation for all and assesses and addresses problems, not only gender issues, gender problems, but also the other problems. And this, I think, is one of the things I would like to highlight also about awareness raising. There are many things that we are doing are drawn or could be rooted from how we see things or perceive things. So it's a good exercise for us, and it's a good gender mainstreaming or any other aspect that we would like to to make changes on if we would only make necessary awareness raising activities. And of course, if these are already done, community mobilization would be a little bit easier, no, because people are already aware, people are already capacitated to act on their problems, which they see fit and which they see would address their problems. And of course, lastly, the role of local communities and organizations shouldn't be dismissed and reduced. No, there are already community-based organizations like people's organizations, which are already functional, which are already providing and have contributed a lot from our efforts. So we should be able to mobilize them and think of and partner with them if we are coming from the outside, and how we could partner with them in terms of providing all our efforts, like for this instance, no, widening participation of women, including of course gender and rights, no, and how we could also engage better with local governance so that they could also make use of our insights and partner better, so that there we could ensure our programs to be sustainable and addresses really the necessary issues that not only cater to a particular segment of the population, but ensuring that the benefits and even the risks, no, the benefits and risks of our programs, for example, environment protection, would be shared by all, not only by men, but of course by women and the other members of the society. So with this, I'm ending my presentation. Thank you.